You're listening to the Anxiety Ridden Moms Club,
the podcast for moms who love their kids deeply and still feel anxious, exhausted, and overstimulated.
Here, we talk about the messy stuff, the thoughts we don't say out loud, the pressure to do it all, and the journey back to ourselves.
Progress over perfection, always.
Let's go.
Every time I say this, it pisses people off. But happiness is a choice. Most people would rather blame circumstances than take ownership. And I get it, like life can be brutal. You didn't choose your childhood, your heartbreak, your parents, or that person who betrayed you. But the truth is, while you didn't choose what happened to you, you do choose how you respond to it. That is the only thing that you can control, how you feel and how you respond. Happiness isn't about pretending that everything's perfect when it's not. It's about deciding to find peace regardless of external circumstances. Happiness doesn't come after your life is exactly the way you want it to be. Happiness is a state of mind that you choose on this journey of life, because happiness is not something that you chase. It's something that you practice.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I hear happiness is a choice, and part of me is like, yes. And the other part of me is like, respectfully, shut up.
Right. Because it sounds so simple. But when you're in it, when life is lifing, it does not feel like a choice.
Like, yes, mindset mentor, I get it. Shout out. That's who the clip was from. It's the mindset mentor. We've told you guys to follow him before, and you need to. But we've all had hard things. Some of us had chaotic childhoods, trauma, relationships that wrecked us. So when someone says, just choose happiness, it can feel invalidating.
But I think what he's actually saying is your circumstances might not be your fault, but your response is completely your responsibility.
She's staring down. Because that part is the part that pisses me off. Only because it's true.
But see, here's the thing. Happiness, it really isn't waking up feeling amazing every day. It's choosing how long you stay stuck.
Deep breaths. Everybody just take a deep breath. It's choosing, do I spiral for 3 days or do I spiral for 30 minutes and pull myself out?
It's choosing, am I going to let this one thing ruin my entire day? Or am I going to feel it and keep moving?
Again, let's take another deep breath here. This is my biggest struggle with this is that I let other people dictate my emotions.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes it's their tone, sometimes it's their actions, someone pulling away. It will wreck me. It will wreck me. I will wake up fine, and one interaction, one person, one thing can send me into a full spiral. And I joke that I'm empathetic, but really, I feel like I absorb everything. Everyone's mood becomes my mood.
That's not empathy anymore. That's emotional self-abandonment.
What is emotional self-abandonment? What does that mean? What are you trying to tell me here?
Here's the thing, is that just like you say about everybody else's emotions, different things, moods can affect yours because you are allowing them to dictate everything about you, how you feel, how you go about things, rather than taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like if someone else is off or feels bad or sad or mad, I feel responsible. Like I need to fix it. I need to understand it, and I internalize it. It's fucking something I got to talk about in therapy. It's a problem.
It's a problem.
It really, really is a problem.
But there's a lot of moms who do this. So, I mean, they're constantly reading the room, their kids, their partners, absolutely everybody. But somewhere along the way, you got to stop and check in with yourself. You have to do check-ins. It's so important.
You've helped me. I've started to pause the spiral. I've started asking myself, wait, is this actually about me? Because 9 times out of 10, it's not. I've really it was probably a TikTok I saw at one point in time that was like, allow yourself a certain amount of time, whether that's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, if you need a freaking hour, whatever it is, laugh, cry, scream, but then pull yourself out of it. And I feel like in like a day-to-day situation, I can do that, but my mood is way too dependent on someone else's.
Right. And their mood is theirs and your peace is yours. And don't you watch Shrinking on Apple TV? Don't you remember that he had actually told the girl that she can take 15 minutes to sit on her bed and cry, scream, do whatever she needs, and then she needs to stop? Don't you remember the episode where she was in her room doing this and her dad walked by and then she stopped and she said, "This is what I'm to do. You have to feel the emotions that you have. You just can't let them take over."
Is that when she wrote a letter to the guy that killed her mom? Or no, was that
I'm trying to think if she wrote a letter I don't know if she did during that one, but I do know that she was having a hard time, and she was just told, like, the problem is, and here, I think this is the reality of anybody's situation. The problem is you can either decide that I'm going to sit around and be crying, mad, whatever your emotion is, and I'm going to do it all day long, and you let it run the show, or you just say, I have to feel what I feel. You can't ignore your emotions, and it's not good to, but you just can't allow it to be where you feel your emotions all day long. It should be like, you know what, right now I'm getting really upset. I need 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes. I'm going to cry it out. I'm going to scream it out, whatever I need to do. And then I'm going to get my head out of my butt and I'm going to go keep myself busy and do something else. I'm going to change what's happening.
So it's not pretending that I don't feel things, because I feel everything. We all know I feel everything, but I'm learning that I guess I don't have to unpack it and move in.
Yeah, you might not control like the trigger, but you can control how long it definitely controls you. I mean, I think that's the reality here. I mean, that's where your choice comes in.
And I can still be kind and I can still care, but I don't let it consume me.
Right, because happiness is a choice. But it's not a one-time choice. It's like a daily decision. And even in talking about this, when I was younger, I would sit and think like, I would always hear this, happiness is your choice. You choose to react how you react. It's your choice. And I would think that doesn't make sense. So he came up to me and was mean to me. Like, of course I'm mad. They made me mad. They were mean to me.
I was going to say, so let's break that down. What does it actually mean to choose happiness, to choose peace?
Because I think at the end of the day, that's when, like, and we've kind of like always touched on these subjects throughout all our episodes, but the reality is that if somebody comes up to me and they're ignorant to me, it's really them. It's really their problem. That is the part that's the hardest for all of us to learn, because you sit and you think, yeah, but they just did this to me. I mean, just think about like people on the road, this person cut me off. Oh, heck no, I'm going to go. Then there's people who've done seriously like horrible things, and chased that person down and pulled them out of their car. I mean, they're so enraged. Regular, normal situations, it might annoy you, but why is this guy over here so mad? Because somebody cut him off. So angry that somebody, whoops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, heck no. Sorry about, I'll pull you out of your car. It's because that person has a lot going on in their life. They are definitely not dealing with their pain and their struggles or whatever it is that's going on. And I can say this even like when I was, when Tommy was diagnosed with FAP, I was mad. I mean,
what is FAP?
So it's familial polyposis. It's a hereditary cancer that goes after your large intestine, is the most primary place that it goes after. But it definitely can grow on any tissue. These polyps can grow on any tissue. And as you get older, polyps will for sure be cancerous, is the unfortunate situation. So you have to do all you can to make sure that you try not to grow polyps. But when that happened, of course, it was devastating that we have the situation that we have to deal with. I could be extremely angry, right? And be just mad at the world. And I had some moments of that because it's just unfair to have things like that happen to people.
1000%.
It's very unfair. So I think it's that's the whole thing. I could have chosen at that moment that I'm just going to curl up in a ball and I'm going to be upset and I'm going to say how this isn't right and this shouldn't happen and all those feelings and thoughts with my head. But at the end of the day, I could either live in that or just deal with the fact that it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. This is here. It's not going away. Like we can't change what the situation is. So let's make the best of it. And even when we were in the hospital, and he had to have a colostomy bag for 4 months. So when that happened, we had this nurse came in, and she came in several different days in a row that we were trying to figure out to get this to work right for him. And there was a lot of struggles with it. And her and I were talking, and she said, I got to tell you something. She said, coming in your room is so much nicer than almost everybody else on this floor. And I was like, oh. And I said, why? And she's like, you guys are handling this so different compared to everybody else. Like everybody else is just, they're sad, they're mad. They have all these emotions that they're living in that emotion rather than just looking at it as it's just a new adventure in our lives that we have to take and handle. And so we would be in there laughing and joking and making fun of the thing and just laughing that it wasn't fitting right. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We can either make the best of this or we can sit around and be sad every day, which a lot of times turns into anger.
I don't think I'm programmed right. Can I get a reprogramming?
But I think
that is so fucking hard. Like you say it, like it's just so easy to just just be happy. Rainbows and butterflies flying out of my ass. Like, Isn't that naive? Because life is hard and life sucks. And like that sucks that he has that. And,
yes. And it absolutely positively sucks. But what do you want to do? Spend your life being just worried and it sucks. It's all you think. This sucks. I'm so mad today. This sucks. And you know people in your life that are like that.
Yeah. You know what? That's our last job. I think made my issue so much for freaking worse because that is a toxic environment where all people did was bitch all the time. We would never, there was never a positive outcome.
Nope.
Things would never change. So it was just this constant circle of bitching.
Yes.
And
that draws you in.
Negativity. And I haven't been able to overcome that. Like I feel consumed by that sometimes. It's just like, if you don't like it, try to change it. But there are some things like cancer and illness that you can't change. And I, to be honest, I don't know how to live
because we have to live
happy. I don't know how to live
because
happy.
At the end of the day, we get one life to live, and you need to make the best of whatever it is. And everybody has problems. Everybody has situations. And I think that there's been times along the way too. I remember one girl told me this was before anything, all the horrible things that happened to our family medically, especially in a bam, 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 bam. It was like very back to back for our situations. But I remember this lady telling me, she was like, oh, you see this girl at this doctor's office? Because I was selling all these different people. So I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I think you need to get to know her. And I'm like, oh, really? Tell me a little about her and whatever. And she's like, she is just the nicest, kindest person. And she's like, she's so cool. She's like, and her son passed away of cancer like a year ago or something. And she's like, she's so like a genuinely just happy, good person, and right away it's what you sit and think like, she's happy. I mean, her son just passed away. And she's like, she's like, it's sad for her what happened, but she just has the best outlook on it. And I think a lot of times that's the times I would sit and think like, how is she happy? I mean, how are you happy?
Is that even possible?
And then you start to realize that you don't really have a choice. I mean, that's the thing. Let me say this story. You do have a choice. You can either choose that now for the rest of her life, she sits around and she's sad and she's mad and she has all these emotions. Nobody probably will want to be around her. She probably won't want to be around everybody else. She'll get super depressed and her life will just spiral into sitting on her couch and watching TV and never doing anything. That could easily happen to her. Or she could choose to say,
smoke a little weed while you're at it and just sit in this stoned face that you don't care and treat people like they're humans.
You're right. Or she could actually decide and choose to be as happy as she can because her son would have wanted her to be happy. He would never have wanted her to spiral out of control and sit on a couch and not do anything with her life. So she's going to see her son again one day. Who knows when that will be? Who knows how long it takes to make that happen? But until then, I do believe, I am somebody who does believe those people they're with you. And if you pay attention enough, you'll know that they're with you. And it may be in a way that you didn't hope for, but maybe there's something good that you can do with this. Maybe there's people all the time. I mean, horrible things happen to their family and they all of a sudden they change laws and they make things better for other people. And you can turn horrible, horrible, tragic stories into good things. And these things to me are like those I think are harder to me to navigate emotionally and get to find your happiness. But I think it's necessary to find so that you still can have your fulfilled life, because any person that's in your life that's not in there now would want you to do that. And then there's the other avenue of somebody came up to you and just said, I think you're a freaking bitch, and is very ignorant to you, to your face. And you have to just chuckle and like say, oh, okay, whatever. Those things are very hard because it's like everybody wants to be defensive. And everybody nowadays is even more defensive than they ever used to be. So I just think that's where a lot of people look at it as, well, that person just came up and they said, what? Oh, you watch this. I'm going to be telling them.
Well, I make a TikTok about it.
Yeah. I'm going to tell them this or I'm going to tell them that. And
but
truth
it's
is, it's
regardless
better.
of what you've been through, though, because I get it. There are some things that will wreck you to your core. It's not an excuse to be an asshole.
Yes.
So I want to make that abundantly clear. It's not okay to be an asshole.
Yep.
And there are two sides to every story, and you're probably only getting one side. So don't insert yourself in situations that you're unfamiliar with.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of people choose to do that, and that tends to come out quite negatively when that happens. But again, you have to always remember the source of anybody who is coming to you and doing anything negative, talking to you nowadays through social media or through conversations, through whatever. It just gets to the point of like the source is kind of a joke most of the time. The person who does it is usually, I could say, million things about.
I was going to say, let's get into it, because anybody that's on the TikTok is that, but one of, not an acquaintance, somebody that I don't even know, but somebody that knows my boyfriend called me a crazy fat bitch. And you've kind of coached me through, but I literally stood there and was just like, what? You don't know me. Crazy, yes. Fat, yes. Working on it. Listen to the podcast. I'm on a GLP-1. It's not working out for me. I'll take any tips or tricks. I know that this person has lost someone close to them.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But again, not an excuse to be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know me. Butt out. But it's really hard to not let those thoughts consume you in everything that you do. Like, because for me, it's like, how can this person that has never had a conversation with me, one single time they've said hi and introduced themselves, that is the only interaction. And maybe he's heard horror stories about me, whatever the case may be. But like, you personally haven't met me, hung out with me. Who are you? But it's so hard to not let that consume your thoughts, your life. Like, and I don't know how to separate that out and not let it control me or my mind.
Oh, I think people say ignorant stuff, and I think it's always the more they maybe say things that are also is more of a, I don't know, the more ignorant somebody is, the harder it is to just be like, oh, okay, whatever, I don't really care. But I think that's the part of that is that at the end of the day, it's really always paying more attention to the source, where the information came from, having a little bit of understanding for everybody. There was even something I was listening to recently, and it was talking about how you have to really realize that everybody is basically their 8-year-old self as an adult. And the problem is that a lot of people choose life should be that you grow your entire life. Now, my dad has always pounded that in my head and always talked about growing, learning. Just life is fulfilling the more that you grow and you learn. It's really not that fulfilling especially because I have this mindset that he always drilled in my head. You kind of feel like, I feel like the people who stop trying to learn or do anything, like it's kind of boring to me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like even doing this podcast, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? When you want to talk about it, I was thinking a podcast. I mean, I guess I can get on here and talk. But I mean, I don't really know technically a bunch of stuff about it.
We
but we figure it out
this morning.
Right. We do some things figuring it out. And then I'm pretty proud of myself that, I learned this or I learned that. And I just don't think that life is very fulfilling when you're not. And so it's not about that you excuse the people for their 8-year-old mindset. But the reality is it helps you sometimes understand. I mean, you can see their 8-year-old self.
I don't give a fuck how old you feel like you are or you're acting. I'm going to punch you in the fucking face because you're a dick. And that's period, end of story. Like, how did that make you feel? Did that make you feel better?
Well, it probably did.
Does it make you feel better to tear people down?
It probably did for him.
It doesn't make me feel better to tear people down. I always feel like a huge asshole.
But see, it bothers you because of that. It bothers you more because you're just like, how could you? How could you be like that?
Because I'm not an asshole?
Right. But you just have to know there's assholes in this world. They do exist. There's stupid people. They exist. There are people who choose to never grow past an 8-year-old mindset that exists all the time. And so
we're getting somewhere here, but that is my most infuriating relationships are the people that have so much potential in the world that could do anything that they want to do, that they are fucking smart, but they have no fucking drive. Those people irritate the piss out of me. Why are you laying on the couch? Why are you smoking weed all the time? Why are you could be the president of the United States. You could do anything in this world that you want to do, but you are not willing to put forth the effort. And that infuriates me when in reality, I shouldn't really give a shit how they spend their life.
Nope.
But I don't know how to.
Because you invest more in other people than you do in yourself.
Huh.
Here, you want to get somewhere?
Yeah. So
that's the truth. You invest more.
Jesus. So how
you put way more effort into somebody else before you ever put that effort into you. You spend more time, but I could fix this over here. Well, what? But working on yourself actually solves a
you say working
on
yourself. How do you work on yourself?
Well, I think that's about growing and learning things. I mean, I think that truly, like, you want to grow past your 8-year-old self, right? And it's easy to get really stuck.
Not 8. I'm at least 24.
So you want to grow past 24. Like, you want to continually grow up. There is no such thing as a true grown-up because, in my opinion, my mind, like the stuff that I think is funny, the stuff that I might, if I'm with people, like laugh and joke about,
we know that.
It's freaking not. It is not like somebody my age, okay? Like, I am 100% totally, I would say, and my sense of humor, all my stuff, I mean, I'm in my 20s for sure. You know, my favorite age, I would say, was 28. So I would say I'm definitely stuck there. I'm not going to, I hope I never, like, in that aspect, I hope I never get older. But at the same time, I think that we're supposed to grow to the mature to where I don't really give 2 shits if somebody likes me or doesn't like me. I don't care if somebody says something, because most time, like I've always said, if you say something, you do something, you yourself to me have a lot of problems. Like, there's a whole lot of you.
Oh, I know. We know this. We know I have a lot of problems.
But you know what I mean? Like, if somebody comes out, like, just like in that situation, you know, he says these ignorant things to you. I mean, to me, the first reaction I have if somebody was saying those things to me is, this guy's got issues. I mean, like, you have serious issues. Like, I think I almost get to, like, concerned in a way, like, wow. I mean, like, wow.
That's why I referred him to our podcast. You need to listen because we could give you some tips on not behaving this way.
But see, you go on another route where you sit around and think, I don't understand why. I don't understand this.
Yes.
Why is that happening?
Yes.
This person shouldn't have done that. Well, all those are, you know, okay, whatever. We can judge on what we think is morally correct for our own compass in our own life. But the reality of it is, it just makes me say, wow.
And then you move on. I don't have the ability to move on. I do not have the ability to let go. I've got to train my mind, and I don't know how to do that.
It takes time, but that takes time. It's just like even saying, like, oh, I'm going to have 15 minutes. That's all I'm allowed to be upset at the moment. I'm feeling upset. I'm going to give myself 10, 15 minutes, and I'm done. Like, almost to train yourself, you almost have to set a timer. So when it goes off, that as much as you're not going to want to stop, that your brain begins to kick in. Because, you know, you have an emotional side and then you have a brain. And the emotional side is taken over. So we need to make sure that the brain kicks in. And sometimes that can be as easy as I'm setting a timer for 10 minutes. Maybe because 15 minutes is what I'm totally allowed. So I'm going to give it 10. If at 10 minutes I can't pull it together, I'm only allowed 5 more. and I'll set it for 5 more. It literally is these stupid things we have to do to force ourselves to do something different. And it's not just because, well, I know so-and-so told me I'm supposed to do, that's not going to work. Like, you actually have to say, I'm committed to this, makes sense to me, so I'm going to start trying. It's not going to be perfect every time. Maybe sometimes I'm so mad or upset the 15 minutes went to 18, but at least if I watch the 18 go back to, now I'm at 17, now I made it to 14, now I made it to 10. I mean, like, you just see an improvement.
And 2 points here. Like, I 1000% understand what you're saying, and I want to be better because I know that I can see the traits in Nora that I'm passing down on her with the inability to let things go. But then also, like, I can give myself 10, 15 minutes, whatever that it is, and then I can distract myself, let's say mowing the yard. And then it's like I will be distracted for a short period of time, and then whatever it is, like, hits me like a ton of bricks that it comes back also. And I don't know how to I would love to just be like, brain, we're not thinking about this right now and move on. But
you have to think about it like this. There's times where those types of things happen to you and it can be kicked in for an hour and you can't get past it. So imagine if you even took the hour to no more than 30 minutes. And then next thing you know, after, a week later, I'm only having things like that happen to me for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Now I'm at 15 minutes. Like, it just gets less and less. And you start realizing you can control it. Your emotions should never be who's in charge of your life. It should be your brain. Emotions are there and emotions have to be handled and dealt with, and you should feel everything in life. That's even for all the positive and good things. You want to have feelings and feel it, but you have to be able to control it with your brain, and your brain has to kick in. And sometimes that's I'm setting an alarm. I've just been cutting the grass. I just got done and I've just gotten like slammed, hit. A thought came in my head. I'm going to get upset again. Get your phone out and stick a timer on it and commit to it and say, and then I'm going to totally feel it for 15 minutes and then I'm going to stop. You will just see that then maybe every time you get to like, oh, hell.
Less and less time.
Less and less time. And then eventually you don't need to set a timer anymore because you're pretty much over it. And eventually you're over everything completely. But that's the point of like, it's work. And people all think like, especially when we're little girls, you've grown up and little girls always get talked about, like, I'm going to marry somebody and I'm going to be so happy. And this is what my wedding day look like. And even when we're little and playing with dolls, you're the mommy and because you already envision yourself having a family and taking care of a baby. Like, all these things are kind of in us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instilled in us that this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And so I just think it's like,
well, if to take it back even further is like, what does it mean to you to be happy?
Right.
I don't know if I could answer that right now. I don't know what makes me happy.
Right. And also you have to remember, okay, here's a big thing. Nobody's going to come into your life, friends, relationships, whatever, to make you happy. You need to be happy. And for you to be a good partner to anybody even, you have to be happy yourself. You have to be happy with who you are, how you feel, what you're doing. And then now when you have somebody else to join in with you, it's a positive thing because you also then have probably created some boundaries in your life that I'm good with this, but I'm not good with that. I like this, but I don't like that. That way, when you blend with somebody, everybody's on the same page. It's very easy and everyone wants to be respectful of each other. But I think if you don't do that, you lose that. You worry about how can I be better for somebody else or my kids or for anything. That's not the point. The point is really to become the best version of yourself for you, which will bleed into everything and everybody else, but in a more positive way. And you'll be teaching your kids positive things and you'll be helping yourself mentally. And life just gets better. I can tell you, 100%, believe me, the way I am today is not how I always was. When I was little, I was extremely sensitive, extremely. And then as I got older, I thought the same thoughts, like the things that you'll think about, like, well, why would they do that? And that's their fault that I got mad. It's them that did this or that, or why aren't they doing this? And I'm the same thing. I would help anybody. And then I decided I'm going to view things. I got to change some things about myself. And in turn, I found how much happier I am. And I find out in turn, I want to do some things for myself sometimes. And I want to do things that makes me feel like, I don't know, like alive. That's what my dad would say. I feel alive.
I want to feel alive.
I feel so good and alive. air smells better, And it does. Seriously, though, it's true. It's like the air just even smells better when you feel better about you, not not because my kids look a certain way, not because they did something right, just because I woke up today and I'm just happy to be me. And believe me, I mean, you can always critique yourself, and that's what most people spend too much time doing. Oh, I can lose weight. I could, fix my hair different. It doesn't ever seem to work right. Whatever it may be. But I just think we can't dwell on that.
I have some work to do. I have to work on genuinely finding and figuring out what makes me happy and prioritize that over making everyone else around me happy. I think I got a lot of work to do.
I think you've forgotten about you and who you are.
For sure. If you've been letting someone else's actions control your mood, same. But this is our reminder.
You are allowed to feel without falling apart.
And you are allowed to choose yourself even if no one else does.
You're not broken. You're becoming.
Thanks for spending time with us. Take what you need, leave what you don't, and be gentle with yourself. And if you want to stay connected, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at the ARMC.
And remember, you're not broken, you're becoming.
We'll see you next time.